Hi guys, I'm Bryson. Last year I raced in F4 and this year I'm racing in FR, and now I'll be showing you around a few laps of Road America. Going through turn 1, looking pretty clean. Right now it's just about maximizing what you have. You see me, I'm trying to warm up the tires even more so I know they're pretty cold. Just maximizing what you have, making no mistakes. And luckily for me, I have a car in front to draft off of, so I won't be too left alone on this straight and just out in danger. So it's just, at this point, just checking your mirrors, seeing if someone's close, and then trying to stay in the draft as long as possible. As you can see, it really works here. We're pulling up almost half the gap to the car in first. We go hard on the brakes, going into turn 5, try to get a bit of oversteer there, but doesn't hurt us too much. Use all the track on the exits. And then it's the same thing, just trying to minimize mistakes, stay as close to the car in front, and make sure if someone's close to you behind, then you want to try to defend and not lose any positions, because it's very crucial here. So now we're going down to, I believe, turn 8. It's a corner that I think I'm very good at. But it's very important to get a very good exit out because you're almost flat all the way down to Canada corner. It's a very long amount of time they're on full throttle, so it can really hurt if you get out a little late. But once again, we're flat through here, so it's very important to stay right in the draft and then checking your mirrors to make sure that you're not really under any threats. So you can see it working really well here, catching up a lot of time on the car in first. Not quite close enough to make a move, but looks like he's gonna go a bit defensive and go back to the left. So yeah, just try to have a good corner. He gets a bit better exit here. So really what I'm thinking about now is focusing on the exit onto the front straight and trying to get as good of a run so I can have a chance into turn 1 to try to pass.
Now on this long straight, are you worried about who's drafting behind you?
Yes, so you got to be aware of that, but usually if you have a car or if you're in the draft like I am here, you're already going quicker, so you don't have to worry too much. So you see me pull out to the left as he defends to the right. Try to make sure he doesn't get in your draft, but usually it doesn't work very well. And then now that I'm on my own, I've got to be a little bit careful. You see me go to the middle a little bit, just trying to hold my position. And now I'm out front. It's basically almost the worst spot to be in at this track because the draft is so crazy. You get 3 straightaways that are crazy long. So you want to just try to maximize the exits. You see me brake early, get on power as early as I can, use all the track. And then here, you see me start to weave a little bit, just trying to break the toe behind. But you got to be careful with it because if they get too close, then it can be considered blocking. So once they get close enough, you have to make one move and stick with it. It seems like no one is too close to me, so I'm able to take my normal line here. And oh, I got passed. So that was a bit of a mistake by me there. I actually remember that specifically. He was a bit further back, and I didn't think he'd be able to make a move on me, but obviously he did, so small mistake by me. So it's basically the same thing as last stop, just trying to stay as close as possible. Try to maximize the exits. You see here he goes defensive. I'm gonna try a bit on the outside. Doesn't quite work, but we still get a good enough run.
But now you kind of have to feel like you're in the better position because being out front, it's hard to gap in this series.
It is, but if you're in second, then you know you're gonna pass for first, especially at this track. So you can see how well the draft works. So you know you're gonna be in first eventually, but it's definitely not the worst spot. You see he goes defensive here a little bit. I try the outside one more time. Looks like I've got a good gap on him. We'll see what happens in this next corner. Alright, so he tries to hold it on the inside, but I'm able to.
And do you feel that? Are you seeing that in your eyesight of him
Yes.
coming up and basically almost hitting you?
Yes, it's very close. You can definitely see him to the right, but you also use the mirror to kind of gauge where he's at. You see a mistake from me there, that's going to cost me a lot going down this long straight. But you can definitely see the car is close to you. And then you really just kind of hope when you're on the outside that they don't hit you. You try to leave as much room as you can.
Now, is this the most frustrating when there's just a train of cars?
Yes.
And that was all they're just tiny little thing at what, 14?
Yeah, it was a very small mistake, but with such a big straightaway, it's cost a lot. It's probably around half a second to a second of time loss. We see they stacked up on the inside a little bit, so I was able to go on the outside of the other car, but he's holding the inside a little bit. So it's a very tough track to race at because of the draft, but then also once you get past someone, it's very difficult to get past again. All right, this is Bryson Morris. That was a few laps with me at Road America from the F4 race last year. And thank you to Crossland Kiwi Motorsports for putting together a great car for me, and we'll hope to do the same this weekend.